All right, let's do this optimization problem in calc. It says a can holds 2 cubic or 4 pi cubic inches of frozen orange juice. So that's your volume. So your volume equation for a cylinder is pi r squared h. So that's the volume. So let's write that. 4 pi, which is your volume, equals pi r squared h. Now, the reason I write that is because that's going to give us a relationship between r and h, which we're going to need later. So, in fact, let's go ahead and just solve this for h. H equals, because you almost always have to do this, 4 over r squared, because the pi's will cancel out. Okay, so there's my relationship between r and h. Now it says, what's the least amount of material needed? So this is going to be a surface area problem to construct this can. Well, the can's going to have a top and bottom, so there's going to be 2 pi r squareds, and then it's going to have a lateral area, which is the circumference, 2 pi r, times the height. So that's correct. That formula is correct there. So let's write this out. We're trying to maximize the surface area, which equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. But now we're going to substitute that in for our h. So this equals, so now I'm going to write the surface area in terms of radius. So S of r, because now I'm only writing it in terms of radius, is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r, and I'm plugging in 4 over r squared. Okay, now let's cancel these. One of these r's will cancel out, and let's simplify this a little bit. So this is 2 pi r squared plus 8 pi over r. That's S of r. Now let's take the derivative. When I take the derivative of this, it allows me to find the max or the min. So that's 4 pi r minus 8 pi over r squared. I was kind of doing that in my head, but make sure you know how to do that in case you don't remember. So now I'm going to set that equal to 0, because that tells me maxes and mins, because that's what derivatives are essentially giving you. They're giving you the rate of change, and you want to know when the rate of change is 0, which means it's at the max point or the min point. So when I solve this, I get 4 pi r equals 8 pi r squared, multiplied by r squared, divide by 4 pi. So r equals the cube root of 2. So if that's your r, then to find your h, plug that back into here. So h equals, because they're probably going to want to know, actually, what is the least amount of surface area? So we can actually we don't even need to find h. They're saying what's the least amount of surface area, so actually plug that back into here, because that's your surface area formula. So you can use your store button. A lot of people don't know how to use this. Store, type in this number in your calculator and hit store for x, and then literally just type this equation right here. That's actually the one we should plug it into, because that's simplified. Type this equation with x, type that equation with an x here and an x here, and and it'll literally plug that value in for that, and it'll give you an answer, a decimal approximation for the answer. So your answer is 29.91 squared inches.